Hi, so today at Magia, the fattoria, we are making some Christmas wreaths together, and I've prepared some materials that we've found and foraged locally on the estate, including grapevines for the base and a selection of green foliage to use in the little bunches that we're going to make. And to make the base, we've used grapevines. You can use any other vines if you come across them in your area, but obviously here in Tuscany we have a lot of grapevines. So the length of the vine will determine the circumference of your wreath, and we'll use that as the base. To make these bases, you simply wrap the vines over and under and over and under and over and under, and tuck it in to finish it off. And obviously you can make those to any size that you want. So today we'll be working with a smaller one and filling our wreath with some locally sourced natural bunches. So once you've made your vine base, you're going to need to make a number of little bunches which we're going to attach onto the base. So for this you'll need your clippers, and you'll need some kind of wire, like a garden wire, to fix the bunches at the bottom together there. And there isn't really a rule to make the bunches. You can use any greenery that you've got in your vicinity locally, and then you can also add any extra bits to embellish it, such as some of this dried artemisia I've got some lavender, just got some wild grasses, and some of these beautiful thistles. For the greenery foliage we're using some cypress, some bay leaves, which we've got in abundance here, some vines, which I've sprayed to add a bit of colour to some of them and some of them not. And you can use whatever you can find around you. So to begin with, use the larger greenery for a base, and begin to clear the stem a little bit, so we've got about 1 inch that we can attach to the vine. And you want to collect about 2 or 3 of each variety of greenery and mix it together. And the bunches don't have to be exactly the same, but you do want to keep them about the same size, otherwise your wreath won't look even all the way around. So you want to have them about the same size, but it doesn't have to be exactly the same plants in each one. In fact, a little bit of variety can look equally beautiful. And now I'm going to add in some longer stems of the artemisia, dried artemisia. You can add in a bit of colour if you're wanting to, some more. Again, I'm choosing plants that will look nice when they're fresh, but also the cypress, the laurel, the bay and the vines will all dry quite nicely as well. So that means you're going to get a lot of life out of your wreath. It'll look nice fresh, and it'll also look nice when it's dry. And here I'm just adding in some bits of lavender and making sure that I've got lots of different heights and varieties in the heights to make one bunch that's not all just squashed together, but that it fans out a little bit. So once you've got your bunch about that size, we're going to trim it and fix it with the wire. Here with your clippers, just trim the ends so you've got about 1 inch to work with there. Take your piece of wire and just fasten the bunch together. And there you go, you've got one of your bunches. And we're going to need to make about probably 6 for this little wreath, or with the bigger wreaths you need about 10 to 12 bunches. So I'll carry on and make a few of these, and then I'll show you how to attach them to the base. Okay, so now you should have your base ready and your little bunches that you've made, about 5 to 10 of them depending on the size of your vine base. And now we're going to attach the bunches to the vine. And to do this, you want to trim the edges down so that your stems aren't too long now, And we're going to use the same wire just to attach it to the bases. So this time you want a bit of a longer wire, and we're going to wrap it around the base twice and the bunch as well. And you want to find a place in the vine where the bunch can nestle in and sit nicely onto the wreath there. So once you find your position, you can wrap the wire around and fasten it again like we did to make the bunches. And any excess wire you can just trim off. So there we have our first bunch attached, and we're going to carry on in the same way, working with our bunches and attaching them onto the wreath. You want to make sure that you put your second bunch close enough to the first one so that there's not a gap here. It's tempting to fill the wreath by leaving a larger space in between, but then you get a hole in your foliage. So lay them on top of each other so they're like this, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to work around the wreath doing that again. You might find you need to trim your stems again a little bit. This one's a bit long. And I find the place where it's going to sit. And using the wire, I'm going to wrap it round and just fix it in the same way again. And then you should have your 2 bunches on. And so we keep working in that way until we've finished all the way around the wreath. And there you go. Once you've got all your bunches attached to the base, you end up with a beautiful, natural, locally sourced Christmas wreath. And of course now if you find some red berries or something else that you want to stick in to the wreath, if you're out for a walk and you see something pretty that you want to add, I use this as an example, you can just tuck it into the foliage and add it in. So thank you for joining me here today, and I hope you can make your own DIY Christmas wreaths, and we wish you a Merry Christmas from here at Immergiti.